Yeah, we're still reeling from all of the revelations that were in the Quiet on Set documentary. And afterwards, everyone was wondering what Amanda Bynes had to do with it. Was she asked for an interview? And if she was, why did she decline? Why is she staying silent? Yep. So it turns out that Amanda Bynes was asked for an interview and she declined. She declined to do an interview because her experience at Nickelodeon was all sunshine and roses and cupcakes and rainbows, apparently.
Is that what we're in those locked
That's what we're supposed to believe.
It was rainbows, cupcakes in those locked rooms with Dan Schneider?
We're supposed to believe that everything about Amanda Bynes' experience at Nickelodeon was just perfect. Nothing untoward happened whatsoever. That's the official story, and that's the narrative that Amanda Bynes even is going to tell us. So here is TMZ's report from an inside source about Amanda Bynes. She turned down a Quiet on Set interview. Amanda Bynes isn't interested in talking about her child star past, especially for the documentary about Nickelodeon, because she simply didn't have a bad experience, TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that both Amanda and her parents, Rick and Lynn, were approached about telling their stories on Quiet on Set, but were told they all opted not to participate. Our sources say Amanda, whom we're told did not even watch the documentary, declined to sit for an interview on account that she felt she just didn't have anything to share that would further their cause. In other words, she didn't go through what the Quiet on Set subjects went through. On the contrary, our sources tell us Amanda is grateful for what she was able to do with her Nickelodeon start. As we're told, she acknowledges it launched her career back then. As for her parents, our sources say that they're private people and wanted to stay out of the spotlight for this. Unlike Amanda, we're told they actually watched the documentary and were both saddened and disgusted by the allegations. But again, we're told that their family as a whole didn't experience what these other child actors did at the network, which is why it didn't make sense for them to sit for it. Very bizarre, because as we can see, Amanda Bynes' whole mental breakdown spiral that she's been going down for years now is a testament of what happened to her at Nickelodeon. I mean, I understand that people struggle with mental health and it doesn't mean that they were abused necessarily. But if you just take a look at what happened between her and Dan Schneider on the surface level, there's no reason that you should be that physically close with an adult who is your boss as a child. And there's no reason that you should basically consider them a second father when you fall out with your own parents. Super inappropriate how close they were. So just that on its own. And then we also saw footage of her giving Dan Schneider massages on his neck and shoulders in the documentary. So that's just what we were allowed to see. We were also told that Dan Schneider and Amanda Bynes, during the kid actors' school hours, they would go back to his office for a long period of time, and they would just be theoretically talking about scripts, talking about jokes and writing jokes together. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fool. I'm not fooled by that. I don't buy that. I just think, like, given the way that Amanda Bynes has turned out as a young adult, we can very clearly see that she had bad experiences as a child star. I don't know what incentive they have to keep quiet about that. Maybe they are subject to an NDA or some kind of penalty if they speak out.
I mean, NDAs don't cover criminal activity, and if she was underage, that's criminal activity. So no.
Maybe there was inappropriate stuff going on that wasn't criminal activity. That's what we don't know. So this definitely conflicts with the rumor that Amanda Bynes has been secretly speaking out for herself for years now. Circa 2017 and 2018, during the time when Amanda Bynes was still under conservatorship with her parents, she allegedly ran this account under the name Ashley Banks. And under that fake name, she talked about her negative experiences as a child star. And here is this resurfaced letter that she allegedly wrote about Dan Schneider, but then deleted. She said, "Thank you for all of your ongoing support. I don't know how any of these men sleep at night, but if there's one thing I do know, it's that what's done in the dark always comes to light. Sorry, I thought it was clever. Unfortunately, I will obviously not be making any comment whatsoever for obvious reasons. And unfortunately, I feel as though the only way that legitimate stories can make the headlines regarding blank is if others publicly speak on his behavior. Blank was truly like a second father to me, but things changed. After the second incident, I don't know if I will ever be able to have children or have the family of my dreams."
I mean, what's the incentive for her to not speak on these things now?
Well, it's not necessarily an incentive to stay silent. It's a threat to speak out, right? It's a threat if you speak out.
Okay.
Right? It's not necessarily that she gains anything from staying silent. It's that she loses something if she speaks. Or here's a pretty easy explanation to come to. She doesn't want to revisit trauma. Like, especially not in a public format where everyone on the internet is going to be discussing something that was private to you only, or private to you and your family previously. So I found some further screenshots from this fake account, Ashley Banks. There were personal photos posted on this account of Amanda, including a photo of her alleged driver's license. Here are some claims that were tweeted from that account. That her parents and lawyer ran her verified Twitter account. We know for a fact that Britney Spears and other celebrities have no control over their social media. She had no control of her money and millions were stolen from her, nor was she allowed to freely travel. We know for a fact now this also happened to Britney. She claims that her Hairspray co-star, John Travolta, is a, quote, sexual monster, something I can confirm since I've done stories on him and talked to sources who had valid claims Travolta SA'd them and or made predatory advances on them. I believe Amanda suffered abuse similar to what Britney fell victim to, as I exposed in my documentary. This is Liz Crokin, if you want to look into her. She has a website that you can look into all of her work. But anyway, they show screenshots from this account, Ashley Banks. She said, "The jig is up. They used me and my talent only to have me committed and steal millions. Have you ever had to beg for your own money, make millions since the ripe age of 7, like a show dog, only for the state to steal your bones?" Here's another one. She said, he always, this is talking about John Travolta. "He always had men in his trailer. I walked in on him and another male masseuse and was nearly fired. He's sick. It bothers me that John Travolta is not being treated as Bill Cosby is. John Travolta is a pervert. I know this." There was a lot on that account. And the photo of her driver's license is the most shocking part. Posted 15th of February, 2017. She said, "It's me, authentic, often imitated, but never duplicated. I refuse to be silenced. My friends know how to reach me." So I don't know what explanation you can give. I mean, I guess someone could theoretically print out a fake ID with Amanda Bynes on the picture, but it looks pretty credible to me. And Amanda Bynes is kooky enough to make an account called Ashley Banks and think that no one will pick up on the fact that it's hers. So that's just for your own investigation if you want to pick up where I left off later. Anyway, here's Drake Bell's reaction to Nickelodeon's disclaimer on Quiet on Set. They said, "We put safeguards in place to make sure that none of this ever happens again." Here's what he said. "I find their response pretty empty because they still show our shows. They still put our shows on, and I have to pay for my own therapy. I have to figure out if there was any truth behind them actually caring, there would be something more than quotes on a page by obviously a legal representative telling them exactly how to tailor a response. Yeah. So when I saw that that statement, we put safeguards in place, I'm like, what were the safeguards? Yeah. Like, explain what you did. Explain how you changed the way that your network operates. Yeah. Because as you can see from the stories we're about to cover later on, years later, nothing changed. Also, Ariana Grande is getting some hate right now because a lot of people feel she, as one of the former Nickelodeon co-stars who became probably the most well-known and famous and wealthy of, I think, any of them. I think she's got to be the breakout star of Nickelodeon. They've noticed that she stayed silent, and they feel like Ariana Grande has a bit of an obligation to make some kind of comment about her interactions with Dan Schneider.
She doesn't.
This says, The View's Sunny Hostin calls out Ariana Grande for not speaking out on Nickelodeon allegations following quiet on set. The co-hosts, however, disagreed, saying that Ariana Grande was a kid who may not have known about what was going on, or she publicly runs the risk of looking like grandstanding, like making the story about herself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be fair if she was to speak out. And then people said that, but it is a very reasonable explanation as to what people would say, even if it's not fair to her. Mm-hmm. By saying that you're taking the attention off of what's important and putting it on yourself. That's just not something she can help because of the level of her celebrity.
I guess that no matter what you do, if you stay silent or you make a statement,
you're going to piss somebody off.
You're going to piss somebody off. Well, if your statement is too curated, it doesn't seem organic enough. You don't seem authentic enough. And then, you don't speak quickly enough. You didn't make a statement quickly enough.
That's literally what we're saying about the Drake Bell stuff, though. We're saying
about Josh Peck.
We're saying that Nickelodeon's response wasn't the proper response because any
response... Oh, that's not comparable at all. That is not comparable at all. Saying that Nickelodeon is a company. They're not a person.
In all of these respects, but even a person is going to have their statement written up by a publicist.
I mean, they don't have to. Yeah, they certainly don't have to. But I'm saying... You're speaking for yourself as an individual. Yeah. You're not speaking for a corporation. A corporation being accused of criminal activity has the obligation to respond.
What would the right response have been?
From Nickelodeon or from Ariana Grande?
Would it have been from Nickelodeon? Would it have been to release like a bullet point of like all the things they've changed?
I mean, it's difficult to say because if they did anything that they're criminally liable for, they literally can't admit to doing it, or else they will be ruined. Yeah. So literally there's just no way to respond to it in a way that's actually truthful. If they wanted to tell the truth and basically hit the self-destruct button, I guess that would be the morally right thing to do, but no corporation is ever going to do that.
Nope.
So it's kind of irrelevant to even, wonder what they should have said. But anyway,
I don't think Ariana Grande owes anyone an explanation. I don't think she has to speak out about anything. If she wants to stay quiet about this, that's her right.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to say because you also see that she benefited so much from what Nickelodeon did for her career. So some people would feel, if there was some kind of...
Are these kids still getting
glaring
royalties? So both Drake Bell and was saying that they're still playing their shows. Are they getting royalties from these shows?
I assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the views are on streaming though, so that's changed.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.